For you guys following along on the channel for any length of time, you know that I geek out on multi-tools. So when I saw the Gerber dual force, I was like, man, it really intrigues me. One, 98% of the multi-tools out there have needle nose pliers. And this model was thinking outside the box, has adjustable pliers, and it has a lot of different applications that I think it can be used for, and we're going to talk about it today. But first, I'm going to cut away. We'll do a quick specs rundown. I'll show you close up this multi-tool, and then we'll do some practical application, and then we'll bring it back and we'll talk about it. Let's run over some quick specs here on the dual force. First off, let's talk about length. Closed, we're looking at 4.5 inches, and it's a little over 3/4 of an inch thick. Not too bad. Comes in like this ballistic nylon pouch with hook and loop, and then you have a belt strap in the back, or you can attach it to MOLLE webbing if you desire. That's not bad at all. Weighs in at about 12 ounces. It's a little bit heavier than a lot of the other multi-tools that I carry, but I don't think that's a deal breaker given the capabilities of this system. And when I talk about system, I'm talking about the blunt nose layered pliers. A lot of the other ones, and we're talking 90% of the other multi-tools out there are using needle nose pliers. Well, not every job requires the use of needle nose pliers. There's times where you're going to need adjustable jaws to open up. Like I did an example with the water hose and the fitting on the hose. If you had the traditional needle nose pliers, you're not going to be able to open them up enough to be able to get around the nut on that fastener to be able to tighten it down or to loosen it up and get it off. I think that that is definitely an advantage of having this style of multi-tool. Next up, wire cutters and crimper. Most of your other multi-tools, you have the wire cutters that are in the front, And a lot of times I find that they get in the way, especially when you're trying to do big jobs. If you're trying to loosen a nut, a bolt, taking out a stripped out screw and such, the wire cutters are going to get in the way. And if you don't have the ones that have the replaceable carbide, then all of a sudden you're dinging them up, you're messing them up, and it's just a hot mess. Let's talk about handles, ergonomics. I like the fact that the handles are chamfered and they're rolled. You don't have that hard edge and it's cutting into your palm and your fingers. And it's just really easy to grip. The pivot points on the pliers are stout. They look like they're robust and that they're going to last a very long time, and we're going to find out. We're going to do some hard use testing on this for the next couple months. Then we'll come back with a follow-up video. Next up, we have the screwdriver. I like the fact that the screwdriver is in line with the multi-tool. That way you don't have like that auger effect. It's nice, it's in line, it's spinning on its axis, and it works really well. They have a little magnet that's inside the compartment where the bits go into, so you're going to get a fit that's going to be nice and secure. You also have little locking mechanism, that way all these tools don't slide and wind up hurting you, cutting you, stabbing you. And then it just press them down, and then you're able to put them back in the stowed position. You have little access points where you can flip up and to be able to get your other bits. You have another smaller apex bit and then a regular Phillips bit. And these are also interference fit with little magnets inside. We'll see how that holds up if we don't lose them in the field. I'll definitely report back on that. You also have a file and you have a chisel on here, and the chisel worked really good. And this is the first time that I've seen a chisel on a multi-tool. So I think that's a step in the right direction, especially if you're into doing projects that are campcraft, bushcraft projects. You're out there in the field and you need to do something that's going to require a chisel, and then the files look robust and they look like they're going to hold up. We're definitely going to test those out as well. Next up is the blade, and the blade was just surprisingly sharp right out of the box, and it's just a plain edge blade. It has almost like a spear point on the front. It's 3¼ inches long. I think that's acceptable, especially on a multi-tool. And I mean, it was sharp as heck. It cut through the rope and it cut that leather like it was nothing. It worked really well. Next up on here is the saw. I was surprised how well the saw worked. Let me tell you, if I was on one of these shows, these survival shows, and I get asked this quite a bit, what items would I take? I would definitely take a multi-tool with a saw. You could do so much just with this setup right here that it's basically a one-tool option. And with the saw on there, you can make just about any campcraft project out there. My thoughts on the dual force multi-tool. I like it. I think it checks off a lot of the boxes. If you're looking for something that you're going to be able to do like everyday tasks with, I think this is a realistic option, and I've said it a couple times, over the needle nose pliers. I'm a fan of needle nose pliers, but there's a time and a place where you need something more, and this is definitely a great option. And the fact that it's adjustable, where you can open the jaws up or close them down depending on the job and the need. I think that Gerber listened to their customer, and I think they got it right on this one. Only time will tell with the long-term testing, and we're going to report back in a couple months on this. If you want to learn more about this, I'll leave a link in the video description below. And with that, folks, it's a wrap. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.